I'm here with Laura Pressley, PhD candidate for the Austin City Council. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Now, what were you saying before I decided to capture this?
Well, our campaign, I'm really tired of Austinites not being a priority of City Hall. And so from a health standpoint, individual health, environmental health, and economic health, our campaign is focused on that the Austin City Council needs to buy local. There are millions of contracts that the City of Austin is giving to companies outside of Austin and outside the state when there are viable companies here. I'll give you an example. In the last 3 weeks, there was $8 million that the city awarded to $4 million for a contract in Minnesota to do large item pickup in Austin. Okay, that is incredibly just shocking that they could spend $4 million, give it to a Minnesota company to do large item pickup. Another big issue was they spent $3 million on building materials, and they gave this award, they awarded this contract to Home Depot in Georgia. There are companies in Austin, lumber companies, all kinds of hardware that would provide services to the city of Austin. Also, there was a $400,000 contract for artwork for the main library downtown, and they gave that contract to a company in California. We have artists here. So our campaign is focused on the city council buying local, environmental issues of making sure our water is safe, and individual health issues of getting rid of those TSA scanners at the airport. The Airport Advisory Commission told the city council, they sent a resolution to them, said don't bring these scanners in because of health issues. I've done a lot of research on these scanners, and they are microwave radiation scanners at 10 times the frequency, higher frequency than your microwave oven and your cell phone. And the council's not listening to their commissioners, and they're not listening to us. So that's what I'm here for. I want to make the Austinites first.
Not to change the subject, but the geographic representation thing,
yes.
What's the deal with that? What's up with that?
Yeah, geographical representation. We are not really represented here in Austin. If you look at the 6 city council members, they all live within central Austin. We need a distributed representation in this city, especially for minorities, Latinos, and African Americans. The 10-1 plan would put 10 districts across the city of Austin, and they would represent 3 different Latino communities and neighborhoods, and one neighborhood of African Americans, and then the remaining Anglo. So now we would have real representation on the city council, and we don't have that now. So I'm hugely supportive of the 10-1 plan.
Who's your favorite presidential candidate this year in the Republican Party? If you had to pick someone in the Republican Party.
In the Republican Party, I'm absolutely anti-war, and there's only one candidate that's anti-war. I'm really sick and tired of my tax dollars being spent killing people in wars that are not constitutional and killing civilians. So Ron Paul would be my pick for a presidential candidate in the Republican Party because he's anti-war. He's the only one.
How do you think it's going to play out in reality?
I bet you Ron Paul wins Iowa. He is gaining on Newt Gingrich. It's between he and Newt Gingrich right now, and I think Ron Paul's going to pull it out of Iowa. I really believe that.
That might happen.
I think so.
And who are you?
Kanika Dillon.
And what are you doing? What are you up to? Are you helping her?
I hope to be very soon.
We will be, yes.
Helping her and a few other candidates. As far as the primaries in the general election, I'm very much interested in the Third Court of Appeals. A lot of people don't know what our appellate courts do and how they function. A lot of people within this Third Court of Appeals have no idea that their vote goes further than any other appellate court in the state, because the vast majority of state and federal cases have to be filed in the seat of Texas, which is the capital, Austin. Therefore, when it goes to appeal, it goes to the Third Court of Appeals, and oftentimes the state Supreme Court will not hear those cases, and that's the end of those cases. So this court is not just voting for your district, it's also voting for the state of Texas, an election that the rest of the state does not get a say on, and I'd like that to be more public, as well as getting people who are qualified on that court.
What does Laura have her PhD in?
She has her PhD in chemistry, correct?
Excellent.
Chemistry, yes.
one of the things we can provide on the council that's not there now is there's nobody on the council with a technology background. My background is 17 years in the semiconductor industry here in Austin, managing engineering teams here in Austin, Malaysia,
What company
China.
were you with?
I was with Motorola, Advanced Micro Devices, and Freescale most recently.
Wow.
And I have a business background also with Freescale. I was in the gross margin and cost reduction manager for their billion-dollar business, their networking business. So we need someone on the council who understands networking businesses, who understands semiconductors and technology, and we don't have that yet. And so I can provide that part. There's a lot of hard questions that need to be asked on that council, and that's what I can provide.
Yes.
You think she could do that?
Yes, I think we need higher diversity of opinion on the council as well as a diversity of expertise.
Who's she running against? Who's her
I
opposition?
don't believe we know that yet.
She's the only one in the race so far?
No. She hasn't decided which place she's running for yet.
Do you think you'll be more successful at large like they have it now, or would you be more successful in a geographic district like they want to have, you know?
Good question. I think I would be successful in either case because of what I can provide. So I am absolutely for the 10-1, and I would be more than excited to go up against a candidate in my neighborhood and in that area, or
Now
do that at large.
you're going to get the North Austin tech vote, but how are you going to get the South Austin pickup truck beer drinking vote? How are you going to get
actually,
that
I'm going
vote?
on the Trailer Park show in January, and I'll be on there multiple times. And I think
The Trailer Park
the
show?
Trailer Park show, yes, South Austin. And I actually grew up. My dad was a cattle auctioneer in Fort Worth. He was an auctioneer in the stockyards. So I grew up in a rural community. I know how they think. I know how hardworking and what their word means. And that council right now, they do things and they say one thing and they do another, and we are not going to put up with that. You have to hold to your word, and that's the family background I came from. So, yeah.
So who all's here today? Do you know any of these people here? Who are these people? This is like the area where they come in and they register and sign petitions. There's literature here, kinds of good stuff. And they have a full-on buffet here, all kinds of good food.
We can add a 5 credit now for local companies that legislature changes.
What are you doing? Irradiating our food?